Anyway, here's a little video I'm going to make of installing the connecting rod to the crankshaft. It's really nice working with new old stock stuff. Nice and clean. But these have got what appears to be a lot of kind of really sticky grease on them. So what I'm going to do is drop these bearings, needle bearings, my little container here. Take a little bit of paint thinner. Bearings. I'm actually just putting them in a little bit of thinner. They just came out of the plastic and they were kind of sticky, so I just like to kind of clean them up or slosh them around in some paint thinner using my little fine paintbrush. Kind of cleans them up. Just drain the excess thinner out. I pour the rest on my little rag. Give it a little wipe, and those bearings are good to go. Now I have noticed with the anyway, I got my connecting rod, taking all the pieces apart, because I've been finding that even though this is new old stock and they were sealed when I opened them, I was finding some areas of a little bit of light surface rust. Very, very light dusting, but it's well worth just taking it on the wire wheel and cleaning it up. Now I'm not putting the sharp surfaces in my wire wheel. I'm just cleaning up where the top of the head is going to sit flat. So that's good now. That's all nicely cleaned up. And again, just because I've been finding a little bit of surface buildup, I'm going to take some very fine sandpaper, wet sandpaper. I'm just giving it a little bit of a cleaning so I know that that surface is flat. And I'm going to do the same on the other half. That's good. So here we are, I got all my parts cleaned up. I'm now going to start installing the needle bearings. I'm actually using Lubriplate 105 grease. Put a light smear on the inside. Take your finger, coat it along. You can always add a little bit more when we start placing them in. There's 15 on each half for the 800 full gear shift. The reason I'm doing this video is not for you guys that have done this a million times, but this is the first time I've ever done a crank of this size. And I used to think this was going to be a really, really daunting process, something I would not be capable of doing. And in the end, it's coming together a lot easier than I ever would have imagined. And there's 15 on each half. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 15. And what I also do, since I've done a few of these already, is I will put just a little extra dab I wipe a bunch of it off too, and I find they just don't go anywhere. And I put my pins in. You can see now my pins go in much easier now. Before they were just from all the years of sitting. Now I do find sometimes one doesn't go back in quite the way it should, so I'm thinking that I need to just swap it out, and then they go in just fine. There we go. And then I just put that off to the side. side. Let that sit. Now we'll do the other half. Just keep some rags around. Just start dropping these guys in. 2. I usually sit there and count them just to keep safe. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 11, 12, 13, 15. Do the same thing, I'll just put a little coating on the other side. Try to wipe off what I can on the top surface here. Okay, so there's the other half. The surface is pretty clean here. Bring the crank forward to me. Try to turn that up a little bit. Obviously you got to make sure that when you put these things back together that there's aligning dots on the halves of each of the rod parts. First guy in there. Look good. I've got both my front and back finger are keeping the screws from moving. I've got the dot alignment correct here. Slide that baby in. Beautiful. And next I'm just going to put the nuts on for both screws. And what I will do is I'm going to come back and torque all the nuts once I get all the rods in place. It's using a 3/8 wrench. I'm not snugging that one down quite yet until I get the other half on. Nicely seated. You can see that that's seated on that side. You can see the head of the screw is seated on that side. Tighten this side up a little. Go back here. Give it a little tighten. A bit of a tighten. And by all accounts, that one should be in there good. And then the last thing I'm doing is I push it down and I just slowly spin the rod around. And I'm just making sure that I don't see any gaps, that I've missed any needle bearings, but I don't believe I have. There's a little bit of play in there, which it should. It's consistent with all of them. And there you go. I got 2 more rods to install, and then we'll get on to the reed cages and the main bearing carriers.